to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Council, I need a motion on the work session minutes from the last meeting.
Move to suspend the rules.
Have a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor, raise your hand.
Move to adopt.
Need a motion on the regular council meeting minutes. Need a motion to suspend the rules.
Move to suspend the rules.
No, I need a motion to just adopt. Oh, I'm sorry. Motion to adopt. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Okay. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you so much. Recognizing that we have a full and important agenda tonight, I want to be brief, but I do have a couple of things of good news that I wanted to share with not only the City Council, but also to the viewing public and those that are in the council chambers. You'll remember the Advertiser Journal has been doing a series on millennials, and what they have done is done a PR piece that really speaks to millennials and speaks to lots of the good things that are going on in Montgomery. I think it's about a minute and a half. We wanted to show that, and then I want to show you some of the employment figures that we just got last Friday, which really puts Montgomery in a really good light. So with that, would you play the video, please?
Montgomery, a city on the river, the capital of dreams. We are the history of Dexter Avenue and the vibrant nightlife of the alley. With a musical soul and a military heart, Montgomery is the place to watch your career blossom or stop and smell the flowers. But don't take our word for it. Come check it out for yourself. Montgomery is a modern twist on a Southern classic. We walk in the footsteps of history. We gaze upon the stage of Shakespeare's plays. We're where businesses large and small come to flourish. You'll also find us in the stands watching our favorite team or cheering on the kickoff of another college season. Montgomery, the heart of Alabama. Montgomery,
commercial for the
a city on the river.
Also a commercial for Montgomery, and they've given it to us, and we can use it in any way we choose. But I think you see the essence of the activities. It's millennially oriented. It's all about bringing them to here. You'll also remember last year we had the privilege of leading the state in the number of new jobs announced, not necessarily created, but announced. And some of those announcements are now coming to fruition. So if you'd put the latest unemployment data up, or the employment data up, is where I like to talk about it. I've put up the 5 major cities, the top 5, the gang of 5, as some people refer to it: Birmingham, Huntsville, Mobile, Montgomery, and Tuscaloosa. And look at the employment numbers. That's August of 16 versus August of 17. The unemployment number can be moved, the percentage, by the number in the workforce, but the employment number is an actual number. And so from Montgomery, it was 86,194. This time last year, it's 87,617, about 1,400 increase. And if you look, Huntsville is the only city that has more people employed than we do, by about 2,500. The unemployment this time last year was 5767, down to 1384. That's almost just a fraction shy of 1,800. And then if you look at the actual unemployment rate, 6.3 versus 4.3. The state average is about that, but that's adjusted on a seasonal basis. Ours is not adjusted on a seasonal basis. And if it was, it would be less than the 4.3. So my point being, at 4.3, we have almost full employment, if not full employment. And so that just shows you that the jobs that we did announce over last year, the 1,700, is in fact coming to fruition. And I wanted to leave this with you as good news. We've got lots of other good news. As you know, with the Hurricane Irma, we had a ton of evacuees here, and I just have written and had done guest editorials. I am just so proud of the citizens of Montgomery as they have individually, collectively, in businesses reached out in so many ways, in so many different ways, to say we welcome you even in the face of this tragedy. And unfortunately, it looks like we might be doing that in the next week or so as well, because there's some horrific storms out there. That Marie now is a Category 5. It's taking a similar path. So we'll see how all that works. But I want to share that good news with the City Council. And with that, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. We have some people that signed up to speak tonight. I'll call on them when we get to those particular items. First item tonight would be, I need to call on Mr. Burkett for a motion.
I move to reconsider and bring back to the table item number 1.
Item, Elijah.
It's a motion to reconsider the ordinance amending Chapter 16, Article 5, Section 16-231, lodging tax.
Okay. Councilor, you understand what we're doing?
Yes.
Need a motion to adopt, bring it back on the floor? Motion to
It's
bring
a
it back on
motion
the
to,
floor.
what's before us?
We have a motion to bring it up.
To reconsider.
I got a motion on the floor.
Can I have
Yes,
a readiness?
yes, sir.
Now, we don't just come in and vote for ourselves. We vote for the people of Montgomery. And this ordinance was defeated the last time. It didn't pass. Now, I think we owe something to our constituents. I think we owe something to the people of Montgomery to tell us why, if we voted against it, that we find it important that just because we don't go along with it. And by the way, I voted for it. Let me just make that very clear. But I am interested in the procedure. And if we are going to vote on something, and I suppose we vote our hearts on it and our conviction, and because we don't like it, we bring it back up. So I think, can we explain to the people out there? I don't know, but well, maybe I'm the only one who wants to know, because you see, nobody talked to me about it.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
There's several people that voted against it last time or did not vote that reconsidered their vote, and they asked for it to be brought back up. Okay?
Well, I think all I'm saying is that I think those people who want to reconsider it ought to tell the people why they voted for it one way last time and voted against again. I mean, I don't have that authority.
That's simple.
Okay.
I wasn't ready for it.
Mr. Bell.
I signed up to speak on item number 1. Where was I?
It's not number 1. This is a special item. Number 1 is the budget.
Oh, okay. Well, when you
If
get
I
there,
may,
no
Mr. President, may I speak to that, please?
Mr. Mayor?
Thank you. We proposed that increase simply to make sure that we had the funding available to support the additional visitors that we've had coming and that we will have coming in the future. 210,000 or something in that range will go directly into marketing to the hotel, for the hotels, to bring additional people into this city. We, for 4 years, have led the state in the occupancy rate. That means thousands and thousands and thousands more people to come, which requires more firefighters, more police officers, more sanitation. And it's only fair that the people that are coming to Montgomery share the burden with the citizens here to be able to have those revenues to increase the firefighters, to increase our police officers, and certainly to pick up sanitation and things like that. We welcome those individuals because they spend a lot of money every night in Montgomery, Alabama. Something in the $1.3 to $1.4 million range gets spent on travel in Montgomery. And so this is just a way of the visitors sharing in the added cost to have services available for the city.
Any other questions before?
Well, may I ask a question? Let me ask a question. And that's the explanation you gave, Mayor, and that's why I voted for it. But let me ask you something. Is this proposed increase in the lodging, is embedded in the budget?
It is in the budget proposed.
Okay. I'm ready to vote.
I need a motion to bring it back up.
Move to
All in
reconsider.
favor? All in favor of bringing it back up, raise your hand.
6.
How many?
I need the noes.
How many noes?
Okay, that's 2. We're missing one
So
person.
you got
You
Mr.
abstain.
Bollinger is not.
Bongo abstaining, so you got a 6-2-1.
The motion to
Back on the
reconsider
floor.
carries.
Now I need a motion to approve.
Move for approval.
Have a motion to approve. All in favor, raise your hand. I'm sorry, we don't, I'm sorry. I have a motion to approve. All in favor, raise your hand.
But need to see your hands. Four.
4, okay?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
just out of curiosity, Madam Clerk, do we have a public hearing since this is a new item
did.
again on the agenda?
We did have a public hearing on this.
But this is considered a new item that
No,
was just
sir,
brought
it's
back
not.
up.
This is a motion to reconsider from the old agenda.
Carry over item.
I have a question. I have a question.
Could you not ask for the negative votes as well?
I have to have the negative votes. I
Yeah, I
got
need,
2,
I've
4,
got
9, and
positive
7
vote.
that
All
voted
voting
yes.
against, please raise your hand.
Don't play me.
Voting against the item,
Are you
raise your
abstaining,
hand.
Mr. Bollinger?
Get them up high.
Got him up high.
And I am going to get them up high, Mr. President, and I got one more thing to say. And you know,
Okay?
we pull this up from the floor. We don't put it on the agenda.
That's
I
right.
think it's a
It
very...
can't go on the agenda.
Well,
Mr.
then
Producer.
well,
Can't
you
go
know,
on the agenda.
I understand, but you know exactly where I'm coming from.
I have a question. Since the mayor just said that this was in the budget,
That's correct.
so since we voted against it again, does that mean we do no longer vote for the budget
Cannot vote for the
again?
budget
That is
tonight.
correct.
Okay.
All right.
Cannot vote for the budget tonight. I excuse the, okay? Go to item number 2.
Item number 2, ordinance rezoning 18.99 acres located on the southwest side of Troy Highway, approximately 1,500 feet south of Taylor Road, from an Ag 1 district to a B2 district.
Okay, this is, Tommy?
Mr. President, this item was carried over from the last meeting, and it was recommended by the Planning Commission for the purpose of constructing an RV park.
Okay. We had a public hearing. This is on the table now for a vote. Mr. Bell?
Can I take a minute to say something? I'm going to make it a motion that we adopt it, but I just want to compliment Mr. Pouncey. Mr. Pouncey is the person rezoning. Mr. Pouncey is one of the persons who's gone out of his way. I never seen a contract when one side just about concede everything, but Mr. Pouncey has gone out of his way, and we met with the people, and I just want my people to know I don't hide my vote. I want you to know why I'm voting. It's already has been zoned agriculture, and if we don't go with this, I'm personal because he can put a pig farm out there if he wants to, and so he's going to build nice mobile homes, RV parks, and everything. So I'm going to make a motion. Are you ready for the motion?
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion that we adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. The ordinance is adopted.
Next item.
I am also on the list to talk.
Item 3, ordinance rezoning one parcel of land located on the northwest corner of Fuller Road and Moore Road from
We've
an
already-
R50
which
district
item
to
you-
an R99.
I have a
SQ.
petition from
On
the
which
Taylor
one?
Ridge community.
Item, on which item?
Number 2,
We've already passed that. We're on the next item.
well,
Sorry.
I wasn't called up.
Huh?
I wasn't called up.
I did not. We've already had the public hearing. There's no further
Well,
public hearing on this.
I do have a
Please give that,
petition.
please give that to the clerk, okay?
She said to give it to you.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
I have also
I'm
filed
sorry,
some
ma'am.
with the state.
I do not have.
I
this is
have
not
filed
pub-
something with the state.
Ma'am, I'm sorry, this is over. Okay. Item number 3.
I've already read it. It's before us. I've already read it. It's before.
Okay, need a motion. Mr. Tyson?
Mr. President, the Planning Commission recommended the rezoning of this with a restriction to one mobile home.
Okay. Any discussion, council? Need a motion?
Move to approve.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Ordinance is adopted.
Next item.
Item 4, ordinance altering and enlarging the corporate limits of the city of Montgomery by including within the boundaries and 3234 Washington Ferry Road in District 4.
Okay. Need a,
Move to approve.
Mr. Tyson,
Mr. Tyson.
any questions?
That's the
Okay. Need a motion
annexation
on
that was
item
carried
4?
over from last time.
No. Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Ordinance is adopted.
All
Item
right,
5, hearing on proposed ordinance rezoning one parcel of land containing 12.5 acres located on the north side of Taylor Road East, 700 feet east of Taylor Road, from an Ag 1 district to a PGH 40 district.
This is a public hearing. Oh, Mr. Tyson, go
Mr.
ahead.
President, the planning commission recommended to not rezone this property. It's been appealed.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone like to speak on this item? Please come forward. I'll take the pros first and then against, okay?
3 minutes each, Mr. President.
Sir, ma'am?
3 minutes each.
3 minutes each on your discussion. So I'll take no more than 3 minutes from the presenter and then 3
Okay.
minutes from the opposing side.
I'm David Allred, and I'm here for the Capital Farmers Market, Inc. There was a lawsuit filed this morning by Ms. DeLongcamp, which she raises some issues that, when they're resolved by the court, that will be good guidance for what needs to happen before this commission, before the planning commission, or before the city commission. So we ask that this be carried over to give the court, allow the court time to rule on the issues in the lawsuit.
Okay. All right. I'll take the other people to speak on it. The public hearing has to be held, so go ahead. Your name, please?
Cindy DeLongchamp.
Okay, Cindy.
I just have a quick question. I hope it
Okay.
doesn't eat into my 3 minutes. If it's carried over, do I even need to present?
Yes, you do. This is a public hearing for it now, so we need
Okay.
all the information now.
Okay. Cindy DeLongchamp, I am the adjacent property owner to the land up for revision. I didn't know I had a 3-minute limit, so I will hurry.
Okay.
How you doing?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir?
if we're going to carry this over for, like Mr. Longchamp said, just for the council's sake, could we ask for this public hearing to be delayed till when we hear it? So everybody
do
on the
that.
council
Can't do that. It's been
Can't do it.
advertised for a
It's
public hearing.
advertised,
Okay.
got to do it.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
So go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, the area in pink I highlight on that handout is the property that my husband and I owned. While reading tonight's agenda, I see that what I'm sure you all see at the end of item 5, the words "not recommended by the Planning Commission." What this statement doesn't tell you is that not only was this not recommended by the Planning Commission, but it was a unanimous no vote. My neighbor was given several opportunities to table this item and regroup to clarify any confusion. However, he declined and pushed for the vote that night. I'm trying to hit my highlights since I've got 2 minute or 3 minutes. The main 2 things that have changed on this proposal since the last time similar proposals failed to get passed is that the property has a new owner and a new engineer, Councilman Bollinger, which is clearly a wise hire because this is the first time this old rezoning argument has actually made it to City Council. To my knowledge, though, the 2 main obstacles that prevented similar patio homes proposals from moving forward in the past still exist. I believe it was Mr. Ken Upchurch who pointed out the obvious in the Planning Commission meeting a few years ago, which said it wasn't feasible to think 72 homeowners, which is what my old neighbor was trying to get approved, their family members and cars, along with city service vehicles and emergency vehicles, were going to share a 1-lane dirt roadway, which is what Taylor Road East is. It is the road used to get to my property and my neighbor's property and is my private drive. I bought it. I pay taxes on it. My husband and I maintain it. The garbage trucks don't even come down Taylor Road East. You can refer to the handout for the visuals that give you a little glimpse into what the road we're talking about looks like, and you can see that it is a dirt road. I know that my neighbor has tried to buy Dr. McCorvey's lots as an access point to get into their proposed 63 home development, which tells me 2 things. They know the density is too high for one entrance, And they know that putting a high-density development on a single-lane dirt road would be hard for the Planning Commission to approve, which they did not. So for the record, I own the private road, Taylor Road East. I do not and will not dedicate it to the city for public use for this project. I will not make changes or enhancements to the road to allow for 63 homeowners, their families, their cars, and city service vehicles to use my single-lane dirt road. Their second and final issue is the covenants, which is what the lawsuit was filed this morning. Ultimately, this plan goes against the current and existing covenants. My neighbor's attorney shared with everyone at the Planning Commission meeting that he had all the covenants restrictions on this property lifted in 2010 so that the Oaks neighborhood and Dr. McCorvey's business lots could be developed and sold. My attorney, Matt Ellis, has researched this issue over the past 6 weeks very thoroughly, and as a result of his findings, he has filed a formal complaint against Capital Farmers Market and their agent, Mr. John Yim.
Okay.
In closing,
I got a quick question.
Go ahead, Arch.
Your driveway, did you agree to have improvements done to it? Because that's what was said earlier.
That would be a lie. I have never agreed to that. I'd make my own improvements. I don't need anybody else to do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilman, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for allowing me to speak to you this afternoon. I would like to say...
Your name for the record, sir. Your name for the record.
My name, I am Dr. Roosevelt McCorvey, and I own the lots adjacent to the property that is being discussed. And I would just like to say, first and foremost, I concur with my neighbor. Secondly, I am lost in terms of how the nefarious behavior can take place and remove restrictions from property that I own and I'm never told about. I find that confounding.
Please, huh? Talk to us.
I find it confounding and actually unacceptable. So, you know, unless and until something can be made more clear and precise, I'll have to continue to support and believe that my neighbor has the right approach to this situation. So I take the time to say, please give us the opportunity to present ourselves in such a way that it would be meaningful, because I've owned the property longer than anybody else.
Okay.
And therefore, if there was changes being made, I would have thought that I would have had the opportunity to know about them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Okay.
may I ask him a question, Doc? You're so you're enunciating so clearly and everything. I'll tell you a little bit over my head. What are you asking us to do? To accept?
I'm asking you to reject this outrightly. It is, like my neighbor said, it is nefarious. It is
What that mean?
It's slick.
No way.
That's what it means. Somebody doing some slick stuff.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Just messing with you.
All right.
Get your answer?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, this has been asked to be carried over. Mr. Lee?
You don't want me to make a motion, I'll make a motion to uphold the planning commission.
Move to carry over.
Yeah, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Listen, it's amazing on this council, and I was joking with Arch, as many rezonings as I have fought, Walmart, Alpha, I just want to get that in. But there are, Mr. President, there are some legalities that need to be ironed out in court, bottom line.
Well,
and I don't think there's any reason for this council to vote on it, to look at it, until a court tells us what's legal and what's not legal.
Okay.
So how long?
So with that, can't carry it over indefinitely. What I'd like to do, Mr. President, is carry it over for a month. And then after that, if they've not been heard, we'll carry it over another month.
Okay.
Until
The
the
council
court
for that
gets done
district
with
has said carried over for a month. And that's what we'll
First
do.
meeting in,
Any objection to that?
Second meeting in October. That was, yes,
second
ma'am.
meeting in October.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If the court has not heard it, then we'll carry it over.
Item carried over. Okay.
Item
number
6, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinance, Chapter 12, to create a new
Item number 6,
division.
number 7 carry over.
And 8.
Number 8 carry over.
Item number 9, resolution authorizing the de-annexation of 3436 Old Pike Road.
Mr. Bollinger? You back?
I'm back.
Okay.
Yes.
Item number 9.
Yes. I'd like to have a
Motion to suspend
motion
rules.
to suspend the rules.
On 9, 10,
9,
11,
10,
12.
11, and 12.
Okay. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Okay.
Motion to adopt number 9.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 10, resolution authorizing the de-annexation of 1,412 Vaughn Road.
Need a motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 11, resolution authorizing the de-annexation of 10 parcels pursuant to settlement agreement with the town of Pike Road.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 12, resolution authorizing the de-annexation of 1 parcel pursuant to settlement agreement with the town of Pike Road.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 13, application for a restaurant retail liquor license doing business as Satsuki Japanese Restaurant at 6534 Atlanta Highway.
Representative of Japanese restaurant here, please. Representative of the restaurant, please. Satsushi? Yes, ma'am. Come forward. Your name for the record, please.
My name?
Yes.
Song Choi.
Okay, thank you. This is a public hearing. Anyone would like to speak against this item, please come forward. Seeing none, declare the public hearing has been held. It's proper for the council.
Motion to suspend the rules.
Have a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor, raise your hand.
Is your microphone on, Mr. Bollinger?
Yep.
Okay.
Sir.
Unanimous.
Mr. Bollinger.
Motion to adopt.
Motion to adopt. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with your business, ma'am. Thank you.
Item 14, application for a nonprofit tax exempt liquor license doing business as Falls Finest Flavors at 485 Merchant Street.
Representative East South, please. I thought that was you. Yeah. Okay. Your
How are
name
you
for the
all?
record.
Beth Ann Dunnigan.
Becky. This is a public hearing. Anyone would like to speak against this item, please come forward. Seeing none, I declare the public hearing has been held. It's proper for the council. Need a motion?
Move to suspend the rules.
Have a motion to suspend the rules. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with your event.
Thank you.
Item 15, application for special events retail liquor license doing business as Blackfin Ameripub Fido Fest 2017 at East Chase Parkway.
Your name for the record, please.
Mackenzie Drew.
Okay. This is a public hearing. Anyone would like to speak against this item, please come forward. Seeing none, declare the public hearing has been held. It's proper for the council.
Motion to suspend the rules.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Good luck with your event.
Thank you.
Item 16, resolution appointing Jeff Plancett to the Mental Health Authority.
Need a motion?
Motion to suspend the rules,
All in
rest of the
favor?
agenda.
That's a good idea. Okay. All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted. Item 17,
It's been-
appeal of nuisances
been-
at 3147 Old
Been
Dobbin.
withdrawn.
It's been withdrawn.
Withdrawn. Okay. 18.
18, pursuant to Section 1153B1 Code of Alabama, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 2329 Carlisle Street.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 18, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 2335 Carlisle Street.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. 20, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 736 Clover Hill Drive.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. 21, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 428 Jordan Street.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 22, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 1448 Mobile Road.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 23, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 1501 Moses Street.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 24, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 1532 Moses Street.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. 25, authorization of demolition of an unsafe structure at 2430 Sandy Street.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Item 26, resolution declaring public nuisances, authorizing abatement and assessing cost of abatement of public nuisances on various lots.
Move to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous. Resolution is adopted.
Okay, Madam Clerk, you got other things?
Yes, sir. I have some contingency funds that I put before you that the mayor has approved, subject to the paperwork that's needed. For District 1, $1,000 to Garrett Elementary School, $1,000 to Dozier Elementary School, $500 to Forest Hills Neighborhood Association, $300 to Eastern Oaks Neighborhood Association, $300 to East Montgomery Neighborhood Association. District 3, $450 to And Justice for All. District 6, $500 to T.S. Morris Youth Intervention Program, $500 to Shepherd's Ministry, and $700 to the Bellmead Spring Park Neighborhood Association.
Anything else?
Y'all got something for District 5?
Mr. Green?
Yeah, $2,000 to Green Acres Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Motion to adopt.
All in favor, raise your hand.
Unanimous.
Thank you. Okay. Now, public communication of non-agenda items.